Hello guys, welcome back to the Pepcoding. So in this video, we are going to discuss our next question, that is count of substrings with exactly k unique characters. Okay, so basically in this question, we have given a string and a number k, and we need to find a count of valid substrings of a given string. Okay, the valid substring is defined as a substring that contains exactly k unique characters. Okay, so basically if we have given a firstly we have given a string here and a k. Let's say k is 3. Okay, and a given string is a b c b a and d. Okay, let's say this is the string that we have given, and this k, the k represent, we need to find a count of substring. Okay, the k, what the k represents here, we need to find a substring. That substring contains the characters. Okay, the substring contains k unique characters. What does the mean by the what is the mean by this? Okay, so when we are starting from this point a, so a, from a we can make a substrings that contains only k unique characters. So abc, okay, this is the first substring that we can make, and it contains k unique characters. That means three unique character a, b and c. Now the second substring that we can make here, that is abcd. It is also contains k unique characters. Okay, abcda. It is also contains k unique characters. And, but we can't add this d here. Why? This is a distinct character from this. Okay, so here from this point to this point, that means from this point to this point, we can make a substring that, because it contains a k unique characters. Okay, now we are starting from b. This this gives us three substrings that contains k unique characters. Okay, now we are starting from b. So from b we can create a b, c, b and a. Only one substring. Okay, only one substring that contains k unique characters. So b gives only one substring to us. Now we are starting from c. When we are starting from c, cba. Okay, c also given only one substring to us, so this count is also 1. Now we are starting from b, bad. It is also contains k unique characters, and this is also gives us 1 as a count, and we have the count of substrings that contains k unique characters. In this string, we can get this number of substrings that contains k unique characters. Now let's parse over this string and finding the proper answer. Okay, so this question is solving by the acquire and release approach, acquire and release strategy. First we are acquiring some elements, after that we need to do some work here, and after that we are releasing the elements that we are uh, inserting our map. Okay, so for solving this question we need two maps. The first map is a big map. That big map contains k unique characters. K unique characters. Here our k is 3. Okay, and the small map contains k minus 1 unique character. Let's say here k is 3. Our k is 3 for this question. Okay, and this is our input string. Let's assume that this is our input string and our k is 3, and the small map, that is k minus 1, that is equals to 2. So it is a big map. So big map, and it is a small map. Okay, now we need to acquire some elements. After that we need to do some work, and after that we are releasing the elements from that map. So here at this point I'm writing this type of arrow for acquiring element for small map. Okay, this type of arrow for acquiring element for the big map. Okay, big map, say that small map, and it is a big map. Okay, big map. So this arrow represent big map acquisition, this arrow represents small map acquisition, and this arrow represent the release. Okay, by using this arrow we are going to release the elements or characters that we are pushing or inserting into our map. So let's pass over this tree. Okay, what we need to do here. So we our first work is acquire. So both pointers say at this point, so we are acquiring a as a 1 and a as a 1 in this map also. Okay, so a as a 1, that we are saying a is appear for the first time. Okay, now after that we need to do some work. The work is we are checking, what we are checking is our map, is our both map size is equals to, is less than equals to that representation. The big map represent is less than equals to k, and small map represent is less than equals to k minus 1. So our work is that firstly acquisition, after that checking the size of map. Okay, after that we need to calculate the count also. So we are talking about this a little bit further. Okay, after that removing, if this condition is false, if our map contains greater than k elements, then we need to release from that map. Now we are acquiring a here. Okay, and pushing that into our both map and checking, is our map contains this is our map size is k or k minus 1. Okay, both are true, then again acquire. So both pointer here, so b is appear for the first time, here also b is appear for the first time. Okay, after that we are checking that, is our map size, is big map size is less than equals to k? Yes. Is small map size is less than equals to k? Yes, it is equals to k. Now again acquire in both of map. So c is appear for the first time, and here c is appear for the first time. So first work is done for this iteration, first work is done, that is acquire. Now we are checking, our main work is that our checking is our map contains, is our map size is big map size is less than equals to k? Yes, so true for big map, but the size of small map is 3 and it is not equals to 2. Okay, less than equals to 2, so it is false for small map. So at this point we are releasing the c from this map, releasing c from this map, and the pointer at b of small maps pointer at b. So at this point, at this from this point to this point, our small map contains two elements, that is k minus 1 elements into that into small map, and our big map contains k elements into that big map. That means k unique characters. First small map contains k minus 1 unique characters. Here a and b are two k unique characters, k minus 1 unique characters, and a b c is a k unique characters. So our big map contains this. Now the condition is false for only small map, the condition is true for the big map. Now we need to acquire again. So again we are acquiring, that is a is appear for the second time, and we are again checking, is our map size is less than equals to k? Yes, so again true, again acquire. B is appear for the second time, again check, is our map size is less than equals to k? Is our map size 3 is less than equals to 3? Yes, it is true, again acquire. Now we are acquiring d for the first time, and now we are checking, is our big map size is less than equals to 3? Is 4 is less than equals to 3? No, it is false for this time. So because of that we are removing d from here, and our pointer is at b. Okay, now from this arrow to this arrow, this from this arrow to this arrow, the big map contains this number of, okay, big map contains this number of elements, this number of character into that map. Okay, and from this point to this point, our small map contains this number of characters or elements onto that map. So let's say here we need to calculate the count also. So from this point to this point, that means our big map contains this number of elements, that is A is appear for 2 times. A is repeated here, B is also repeated, and C is for the 1 time. So the big map size is 5. Big map characters contains 5 number of times. Okay, A for 2 times, B for 2 times, and C for 1 time. So big map size is, big maps element size is 5, and the small maps element size is 2. So from this point to this point, how many number of substring that we can made that contains k unique characters is ABC. First ABC, okay, second ABCA. This is also k unique characters. ABCAB, this is also contains ABCAB. This is also contains k unique characters. So at this point we got 3 number of substrings with k unique characters. So our second work is that calculating the count of element that are present into our big map, and calculating the uh, count of element that are also present into our small map, and subtraction from them, subtract the 5 from 2, 2 from 5, and the we got the count that we can make a big substring from here, and all the substring contains k unique characters. So from this point we got our 3 unique characters. Okay, now after doing this we need to release our a from this. So a's count is 2, so a is 1, and a is present for 1 time in this small map. Now the condition of small map is 1 is less than equals to 2, so we need to acquire 1 character. So C is appear for the first time for the small map. Okay, now we are checking, is our small map size is less than equals to 2? Is 2 is less than equals to 2? Yes, it is true. Then we are going to, this condition is true for acquisition. So for again we are going to acquire. Now we are checking the size of small map. These 3 is less than equals to 2. No, it is not true. So we are removing A from here, and our pointer from A to C. Okay, shifted from this to this. Now again we are checking this, our big maps condition. This is true for now. So we are going to again adding this D here. So D is appear for the first time. Okay, now after that the condition is false. So for false, why this condition is false? So big map size is 4 and it is not less than equals to 3. So because of that the condition is false. So we need to remove this D from here. So we are removing, and removing this pointer from this point. Okay, so pointer from this point to this point. Now till at this point the big map contains from this point to this point this number of elements, and small map contains this number of elements. So it gives 4 count and it gives 2 count. Okay, so we have 2 number of substrings that contains k unique characters. Let's see which of those. So B C A, okay, this is the first that contains k unique characters. B C A B, so two substrings that contains k unique characters, and we got that count also. Okay, now let's remove this. Okay, first we have three substring, and now we have 2 substring. Our count of substring here. Okay, now after doing this, let's remove this from this. Okay, now after doing these 2 work, we need to release one character from both of the map. So B is appear for the 2 times here. So 2 minus 1, that is 1, and here for only for 1 time. So we are removing this. So the condition for small map is true. What is that condition? Small map size is 1. It is less than equals to 2. Okay, so we need to acquire some one element into this map. Okay, after that we are going to check for this map, the condition is true or false. So 2 is less than equals to 2, so the condition is true for now. And we are also checking for big map here. So 3 is less than equals to 3. For this big map size is 3, and k's value is also 3, so 3 is less than equals to 3. Okay, so at this point our small map contains this number of element and our big map contains this number of element. How we are finding that? This is the release point. So in between these arrows, from this arrow and this arrow, we got our big maps character, and from this point to this point we got our small map characters. So this length is 3 and this length is 2. Okay, 2. So we got our new count of substring, that is 1. Okay, so let's find out CAB. Okay, CAB. This is a substring and it contains k unique characters. Now after that we are going to uh, after condition is true, also remove this part also. Okay, so we have 3 plus 2 plus 1 number of substring that contains k unique characters till now. Okay, after that release one character from both. Okay, so we are releasing here. Now the condition is true for both. Now we are acquiring for small map, that is B appear for the first time, and big map, that is D appear for the first time. Now again the condition for both map is true, then we are again going to acquiring, that is D for the first time. So the condition is false here, so we are not going to acquire that at this point. And for the big map, A is appear for the 2 times. Now again the condition is true for big map, that is 3 is less than 3. Okay, now we are going to acquire B here. So acquiring B, again the condition is true. Now we are again going to acquire. Now count of B is 3. Okay, count of B is 3. Again the condition is true. Then again we are going to acquire C. Now C, after acquiring C, the size of map is 4 and the condition is false. Because of that condition is false, we are releasing this point from this. Okay, and our pointer at B. Now our big map contains from the element from this point to this point. So big map contains this number of elements: A for 2 times, A for 2 times, B for 3 times, B 1 2 3 3 times, and D for the 1 times. Okay, and our small map contains this number of elements. So the count of that is 6 and it is 2. So we got 6 minus 2, that is 4 number of substring that contains k unique character. Now let's find out A, B, D. It contains k unique characters. A, B, D, A. It is also contain k unique characters. A, B, A, B, sorry, A, B, D, A, and B. It contains k unique characters, and A, B, D, A, B, B. It is also contain k unique characters, and the count of this substring is 4. So we got 4 number of substring, more 4 number of substring, and removing this from this, clearing this picture. Okay, and this is the stuff, this number of substring we got here. After doing this thing, after doing this calculating the count, we need to release. So uh, increase the pointer of release. Now we need to release A from this. So A's counter point count is 2. So A is for 1 time in the big map, and remove A from this. Okay, now the condition both map, the condition for both map is true. So we are going to acquire one element into small map, that is D. Okay, after that adding one element into big map, that is C for the first time. So condition is false here, so we are releasing the point from here and our pointer at B. Now the condition is true for small map, that is 2 is less than equals to 2. The size of map, small map is 2 and it is less than 2. Now at this point we are going to acquire A for the first time. Now our big small map size is 3 and it is not less than equals to 2. So we need to remove this from this map and our pointer to B. Okay, now our big map contains this number of characters, small map contains this number of characters. So 5 minus 2 is 3. Again we got 3 number of substring, and which of this is B, D, A, B. Oh, sorry, B, D, A, B, D, A, B, and B, D, A, B, B. So 3 number of substrings that contains k unique characters. Now After that, remove this and remove this. Okay, we only want the count of substring. Okay, after doing this work, we need to release one element from both of this. So releasing b from this, so the condition is true for both, then we are going to add a here. Okay, now again the condition is true for now we are checking for the c. So when we are acquiring c here, our big map size is greater than k, so we are removing the c from big map and the pointer is here. Now condition is true for small map, so we are going to check here b for the first time. Now our big small map contains 3 elements, that is not less than equals to 2, so we need to remove this from this map and our pointer to a point. Okay, now at this point our small map contains this number of elements, our big map contains this number of elements, that means 2. Again we got 2 number of substring that contains k unique characters. Now after that, after this, we need to release element from both of these. So d is releasing from this point and d is also releasing from this point. Okay, now both map condition is true, then we are acquiring element here b for the first time and the c for the first. Okay, both maps condition is true, so again we are going to acquiring b for the second time, f for the first time, f for the first time. Okay, so this condition is true, false for this big map. Okay, false for big map, but true for the this map. Now we are going to check here if c contains when we are acquiring c into small map, then our condition is false, then we are going to release this. So from this point to this point, small map contains this number of element, and from this point to this map, this point big map contains this number of elements. So 4 minus 3, that is 1, and again we got one substring, that is a b d c. Okay, one substring that contains k unique characters. Now this is the approach to solve this question. From this we are going to code, but before we are going to code, we are not using two map here, we are going to only using one map while writing a code. But at that time, let's say, let's remove this from k is 3. Okay, k is okay here, shifting this from this point, f is there. Okay, what we are doing when we are writing code, we are initializing one variable, that is k's count, and we are calling a function, that is solution function. It gives us, we are passing string and k element to that solution. It gives us a count of that for that k for that big map. Okay, let's say we are saying that this function, we are calling this function as a passing a string and passing a k, and we are going to make a hash map of k size. Hash map contain k number of elements. So this function gives us the count of sub array, count of substring that contains k unique character for this big map, for the k's map. Okay, and after that we are going to make a function for k minus 1's count, that we are again calling that function, same function with string, and for this we are going to call, that is not a k, that for this now k minus 1 element. Okay, k minus 1 element. Now this function returns the count of substring with k unique characters for this map. Okay, for this map. So after that, what we are doing here, this is a small maps count, that is 3, and this is a big maps count, that means big map count, that is 4. What we are doing for finding the count, we are doing here the big maps count, that is k's count minus k minus 1's count. This is what we are doing for finding the count. Okay, so we are going to make a two function here and calling only one, we are going to make two variables and calling only one function that gives us count for k elements and k minus 1 elements. So from this we are going to start with the code. So let's start with the code. So now we are on our Nado's ID. Let's full screen and increasing the font size. Okay. First thing, we need to write our code here. Okay. So we have input of string and key. Okay. So we are going to make a two variables. First for the case count. This function returns us a solution. Let's call a function that name is solution. Pass it a string and k elements. Okay, it gives in return us a count. Okay, and another function is k minus 1 count, again calling that function with string and this time k minus 1. Okay, and we need to print the difference of these two. It is cout. Okay, cout of kth count minus k minus 1's count, and at the end line. Okay, so we need to write this function, that solution. We have a faith in that function that gives us a count of how many number of uh, substring that we can made. That substring contains k number of unique character when our size is k, when our k is 3, and again we are calculating for the k minus 1. Okay, so let's start with the solution code. So here solution that contains string str and one integer, that is k. Okay, so we are going to we are using the acquire and release app strategy here. So for the release we are using a j, and for finding the count we are going to use the count variable. Sorry. Now we need a map that contains int versus int. Okay, map, we are going to use a map here that contains int versus int. So for that character we are storing how many times it is appeared. Okay, how many times it is appeared. Now we are going to we are going to run a for loop over the string, that is I is starting from 0, I is less than str dot length. Okay, and I should be plus plus here. Okay, now we are checking is our map is already contains or not. First thing we are checking for, it is not contains our str of I, that means it is not contains that character. If this condition is true, then we are saying it is not contains that character. Okay, so for that we are saying that for the in our map against the str of I, we are saying that it is 0. Okay, we are saying that it is at 0. We are inserting this string into our map. Okay, after this, if our str of I uh, our str of I if sorry map of str of I, if our map of str of I is equals to 0, then we need to decrease our k here. Why? Because we are inserting one character into our map, then after that we are decreasing our map case size. Okay, why? Because we want the k numbers, k when we are passing k numbers for the first variable and second variable, that is k minus 1, when we are passing k as a k. Okay, then we are going to check big map contains k element. When we are pushing that first character here, then we need to release our decrease our k. Why? Because if our map contains, let's say uh, k is 3. Okay, first for the k is 3, then we are storing something here, k is 2. Again we are going to store here something, then k is 1. Again we are going to store something here. Now k is 0. Okay, now at this point k is 0. Okay, when we are storing something here, then our case size is case the condition that we are going to use here after the acquire, the work and release. The work is that if this condition is true, that is if our k is less than 0, then we need to release something. If our k is less than 0, then we need to release something here. Okay, after that our condition is true and we are going to find the count of that. So for that, if we are adding some element into our map, then we need to decrease our k. For that purpose we are going to, for what purpose? That reminds us our case value, that means map contains this number of elements, so we have only this size that we can add more element into our map. So if now if we are checking for if it is not contains, now we are checking it contains. So at this point, okay, it contains, if it is contains, then we are checking that if it is contained, then we need to increase that count. Okay, after that, while if our k is less than 0, k is less than 0, now we have more than k elements in our map. Okay, we have more than k elements into our map. For that purpose, we are going to use the release strategy here, that is map of str of I, sorry, j. We are going to use j here for release purpose, minus 1. Okay, we are releasing that element from our map. Okay, now if our map of str of j is equals to 0, then we are going to increase our k. Okay, after that we are going to increase our j as well. Okay, so at this point we are saying that our map is map size, that means when our map case value is 0, then we are saying that now we are releasing that point. Now we need to increase our case value for the next iteration and increasing our j as well. So j is set at somewhere, let's say first j is at 0, now j is at for 1 for the next iteration. When we need to release something, then j is stand at the first index. Okay, now after doing this, we need to increase our count as a plus equals to, if our I as 4th index and j as first index, so we are going to calculate the count of that. We are here at this point, uh, our j is at this point and our I at this point. Okay, so we need a count that, let's say this is a first index and this is 2, 3, 4 and fifth index. Let's assume that this is first index and it is fifth index. Okay, we are calculating 5 minus 1 plus 1. 5 minus 1 element, that is 4 element, plus 1 element, that is 5 element. Okay, so here we are doing this. After doing all this, we are returning the count of that element from here, and this is the full code. Let's try to run this code. Will it be passed for first test case or not? So it is run for the first test case. Let's try to submit this code. Will it be pass all the test cases or not? Let's see. So it passed all the test cases. So let's see what we are. Let's remove this first. Okay, so let's analyze the code here. So firstly, we are calling that function from case count, that our firstly we are calculating the count for big map. Okay, big map, so it gives us return some count. Let's say big map have 30 number of substring that contains k unique characters, and again we are calling as a k minus 1, and if this number minus, we are going to subtract that value from 30, that is if our k minus 1 gives us let's say something 8 values, then we have 22 number of substring that contains k number of unique characters. So at this point, this is a this pointer for the release pointer. Okay, the count is 0 for the first time. We are going to use a map of int of int. Okay, we are checking that is this character is already contained into our map. If it is already if it is not contained, then we are initializing that as a 0. The count is 0. If at this is 0, then we are saying that we are adding first element, then increase the count, sorry, k's value. If it is not if it is already present, then we are going to increase that count. Now at some time our k is negative. Okay, then we need to release why k is negative. our case value, let's say 3, and our map is this. We are adding some element, decreasing the value, again adding some element, decreasing the value, again adding some element, again decreasing the value, again adding some element, then our case value is -1. Okay, at this point our HashMap contains more than k elements. That means case value is 3 and the element that HashMap contains is 4. So we need to remove this and increasing the count of k. Okay, so at this point case value is 0 and that represent the 3 elements. Our map is contain 3 elements. Okay, and for the next iteration we need to increase our j here, and we are going to add that count we are already discussed in the previous part. Okay, and we are returning this count from this point. Okay, so I hope you understand the question and the solution of this question from this video, and thank you for watching.